You understand? We in Matthew chapter 18 to 15, and we discussing, you understand, like if your brother trespass against you, you know, how you handle those situations, you feel me?
Right.
There's a lot of people say it, like a lot of people are hearing this and like, yeah, I go to my brother, you feel me? But you know how we get. Like if it was so easy, to do, we wouldn't have 400 murders a year in a city like Baltimore.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like most of the murders that's committed between blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans is because one brother trespassed against another, and it was retaliation. He should, oh man, he gonna carry me, I'm gonna carry him back. You understand? They put it under the umbrella of gang violence.
Right.
Black on black crime, you understand? When all of that, in actuality, all it was a disagreement between one or two more brothers. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna ask you again, so your brother trespass against you, you understand? And you go to him, hey, listen, I ain't really, you go to him, you know, you did the right step, went to him alone, hey, listen, I ain't like how you paid him off towards me, so I ain't like what you said, I ain't like what you did. You see what I'm saying? No, you taking that the wrong way. You can't be so sensitive, you know, you gotta kinda, you know, gotta man up, shorty, you feel me? Like, you tweak, like, he give you one of them, what should you do, you feel me?
I know the answer, man. I go get somebody else, and then explain to, or have a witness, explain what I explained to him.
So what do you say to him though? When he tells you this?
So when he telling me that I'm being sensitive.
All right, something happened. So I offended you.
Okay.
Right? Now you come to me. How would you come to me?
I'll let you look, man. Whatever you said, I'll be like, look, you said X, Y, Z. I feel like a way about that, but you trying to carry me. You know, I ain't gonna shut me no hole down like that. So, you know, we need to get this together. Blah, blah, blah. You know how we talk.
Nah, hey yo, like, look, and we looking at this ain't. Nah, that's not how I meant it. You feel me? So, I mean, I think the way you're looking at it is a little off. You feel me? So I mean, like, I ain't mean it like that. But you know, you gonna take it like that. You know, I'm gonna tell you. You feel me? Like, man, I ain't come off like that. You feel me? So. Like, so if I respond to you that way, what's next?
I think it's subtle. I might have been overreacting.
No.
See,
Let's keep reading. This is why I wanted to do that. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what happens between brothers. You see what I'm saying? If you offended and you go to your brother, you see what I'm saying, and you tell him about offense, and he persuades you that it was not an offense. 5 minutes after you leave him, you might come back and talk to me at that. I should have said X, Y, and Z. And next thing you know, now you on low time. And he thinking it's done. But now you even mad. You mad at her. Because you ain't even get off your chest what you had to get off your chest. You don't even say sorry.
Right.
And I mean, you just carry it like that, like, yo, you must think I'm a sucker, like you can talk to me any kind of way. You see what I'm saying? Now you on low time with him. And you hating him. So who's in the wrong now?
Me.
You in the wrong now, you feel me? Let's keep going real quick. Go with y'all.
15.
We're in verse 16 now.
16. Verse 16.
Oh, matter of fact, yeah, we still in 15 where it say, if he shall hear thee.
Okay. He should hear you.
Yeah, you start there.
Alright. Let me start at the top.
Yeah, go ahead, start at the top.
Alright, slide. Matthew chapter 18, verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his faults between he and thee alone. Between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained a brother.
It said, if he shall hear thee, thou hast gained a brother. So, me hearing you is when you come to me and say, hey, it's like you offended me. You know, I ain't like how you said this. Hey, it's like, my bad. I ain't mean it like that. It's like, you see what I'm saying? That wasn't my intention. You know, it's a lot of brother, you feel me? And guess what? At the end of it, we're going to dap each other up. You see what I'm saying? We're going to show each other love. We're going to dap each other up, you feel me? This issue is squashed, man. Because I didn't mean to offend you. I apologize to you. You see what I'm saying? We were on one accord, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, you can feel free in knowing that I heard your offense. You know what I'm saying? And we done got through this. You gained me, man. You gained a brother. You know what I'm saying? That's what we supposed to do.
Right.
However, let's say you don't gain me. Let's go to verse 16.
Verse 16. But if he will not hear thee, then take take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established.
That's called counsel. That's called counsel. In the school, that's called counsel.
Right.
You understand? Like, so you come to me, you offended. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to persuade you that what you thinking and what you feeling ain't right. Here's the thing. If I say anything outside of a salami, bro, my bad. If I say anything outside of that, hey, don't sweat out. You know what? Hey, we gonna go to counsel, right? You know what I mean? Like, don't look at counsel. Don't look at counsel like a punishment. You understand? Like, we look at counsel like a punishment. Like, we have order in the UK. Like, it's to keep the peace between brothers. And it, like, because the Lord say, you know, everything in decency and in order. So we gotta lose that street mentality. Like, yo, I can't talk to the gentleman about that. You feel me? Like, you know, I don't want to feel like I'm getting brother in trouble. No, don't think like that. That's some street. So that's so a white man. That's his vibe.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? In your mind, counsel gotta be, man, this brother got an art between each other, and I don't want it to go no further. I don't want to get to a point where so we don't like each other. We ready to throw hands or something like that. Before we do that, you feel me? I'd rather somebody sit down, hear us out, you feel me? And if I'm wrong, I'll take the correction. But if he's wrong, I want him to take the correction so we can be brothers, you feel me?
Right.
So if I say anything outside of a salaki, my bad, I ain't mean that, you see what I'm saying? Like, you know, and we dap each other up. If I say, nah, yo, like, hey, what you been on sensitive? Anything, cut it short. Hey, you know what? Hey, we gonna go to counsel, right? Dap each other up, you feel me? And get in contact with your camp leader, you feel me? And you know, they set the council up. Like, that's what we're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? That's brotherhood, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you, in your situation, like you were saying, if you're in the street, you understand? And you go to a brother, I mean, you still use these principles no matter where you at. You know what I'm saying? You go to a brother and you talk to that brother, you feel me? And if he hear you, you gain him. But if he don't hear you, you can actually say, hey, simply, you know, you can actually still call the school and get counsel. Hey man, I went to the brother, he ain't hear me. I want to see if I can get counsel between me and him. You see what I'm saying? And you get, you know, you'll get walked through that process then. You see what I'm saying? But as far as coming to this, like, especially here in the school, man, like, we are ordered to keep these laws, man. This is not something we gotta do if we feel like it. You see what I'm saying? Like,
right.
The brother don't, if you don't gain that brother, when you tell him your offense, go to counsel. That's all you gotta do. But here's the thing. You can't be a coward.
Right.
You understand? Because a coward will act like nothing's wrong. A coward will act like everything's sweet. You see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm over it. It was something like, I mean, I can handle it. You see what I'm saying? No, that's not what you're supposed to do. Because Satan is already there with you, telling you that you're good. As soon as you walk away from that, brother, you got the spirit of murder on you. You know? That means you're sinning more. You know, and this is what we gotta learn as a nation. You feel me? Like, that's why I say, like when we started the class, I'm like, you know, you're only gonna get taught these laws here in Isupk.
Right.
There's no one else teaching these laws like this, man.
Right.
You understand? There's nobody teaching a brother that he gotta be a brother to another brother, a sister that she gotta be a sister to another sister. You understand? There's nobody teaching this. In the Christian church and these fake Israelite groups, you know what they teaching? They gossiping. They teaching us to hate each other, man.
Right.
I mean, they gossiping, you know, all up and down them congregations.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Running their mouth and whispering, murmuring. The Lord speaks against that, man. It's unbrotherly. You understand? Like, what is gossip? You understand? Like, what is gossip? You understand? Like, everything that we watch, everything that, like, you know, you watch TV, everything revolves around gossip, man. They got, how many talk shows that they got? The Talk, The Voice,
Right.
Red Table, what was it?
Red Table.
Red Table. Talking about absolutely nothing but gossip, man.
Right.
Nothing but, and guess who feeds them that? Our women.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you might as well say the brothers too, because brothers run their mouth like
Yeah.
you know,
It's starting to
Like,
take.
it's ridiculous, man. You learning all up in the Christian church, man. You going to the Christian church, you feel me? You ain't got that, you know, you ain't looking halfway prideful. You understand? Like, they talking about you, man. What is he doing? You know, where he come from? You see what I'm saying? You ain't got enough money to put in that collection plate. They gossiping right in their mouth about you, man. Like, what is gossip? You feel me? Like, if you look at the technical, like the definition of gossip, man. Like that, like let's look that up if I could, sure. Let's look up gossip. We get on our phones too. This is important, man, because like this is so important because this is where a lot of stuff started right here. It starts by running our mouth. You understand? Like a lot of us don't know how to control our tongue, man. That tongue is a dangerous member. You feel me? Like it gets a lot of people in trouble. You see what I'm saying? Just by you running your mouth. And the Lord is against that, man. You got gossip.
Come.
You can read the definition real quick.
A casual or unconstrained conversation or report about other people, typically involving details that are not confirmed as being true.
Look at that. That's what gossip is, man. It's casual, unconstrained, meaning like there's no limit on this conversation. That's conversation that you speaking on another person, and you bringing in information that has not been confirmed as true. That's gossiping, man.
Right.
I mean, it could be a complete lie. So because you running your mouth, you feel me?
Right.
You putting that on a person.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's, like gossip is fundamental in the Christian church.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you go into the Christian church and you don't participate in that gossip, you know what they're gonna tell you? What you think you holier than that? Right? And you think you better than somebody or something. You feel me? Like they get mad at you for not engaging in their food. You see what I'm saying? Like when you don't gossip and you don't murmur about people in that Christian church, they shun you. You the problem now. Oh, he holier than thou, you feel me? And you know sin greater than the other. That's when they start looking. You know he got 2 women, right? He got 6 children and 3 baby mothers. Then you think he righteous when he come here. You see what I'm saying? Like this is what happens in the Christian church, you feel me? If I could, let me get 2 Timothy 2:16, man. Cause like listen, like running our mouths, man, like this is just another tool that Christian pastor uses to separate us from each other, right? You understand? To destroy the brotherhood. And we get it because we following after our oppressor, man.
Say 2:16.
No. First get you going to read.
2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 16. But shun profane and vain babblings.
It said to shun. Like if you look at the word shun means to like persistently to avoid or reject something. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you shun it. Like you don't want it a part of you. You don't want it. You don't want no parts of it. You see what I'm saying? The Lord said to shun. Can you read that one more time for me, sir?
But 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 16. But shun profane and vain babblings.
It said to shun profane and vain babbling. Like vain meaning like empty. Like what you're saying don't mean nothing.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like you just talking to talk. You see what I'm saying? The Most High say, man, shun profane and vain babbling. You understand? Keep going.
For they will increase unto more ungodliness.
It says they will increase unto more ungodliness. You understand? Like this is the problem with gossip. That's what gossip is. Gossiping is profane and vain babblings, man. You speaking on something, you running your mouth about something that you don't even know if it's true or not. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is saying, man, we got to shun that behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like you tell a black woman that she can't gossip no more, you might get divorced out. You see what I'm saying? Like she might be done with it after that. You tell her she can't run her mouth and she can't do and say what she want to say no more. You feel me? Like this is just part of the culture. Like that's how it's viewed. You see what I'm saying? Because it happens in church. Right. The wicked ass ushers, you see what I'm saying? The wicked ass pastor in that church, you feel me? All they do is talk about each other. Right. Like how many of us have had and seen, you know, she the woman in the church with the big hat. You see what I'm saying? It's, oh, sister this and sister that while they in there. As soon as they leave, you know, they talking about, man, you know she's a hustler. They be on the phone all hours of the morning. You see what I'm saying? Talking about each other. You feel me? In the church. You know what I'm saying? Come Monday morning. Did you see sister such and such? Did you see what she wore? She wore that dress 2 weeks ago. What they falling on hard times or something? Like this is what you see. The Lord said, man, we gotta shun that kind of behavior, man. That's profane and vain babble. Profane means against the Lord, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the Lord wants us to watch our mouth, right? Christianity teaches, man, we can do whatever the hell we want to do because we're saved already. All we gotta do is believe. You see what I'm saying? Not according to this book, man. If I could drop that, let me get Proverbs 17:4, brother.
Proverbs 17.
First one you read about the 17.
Proverbs chapter 17, verse 4. A wicked doer giveth heed to false lips, and a liar giveth ear to a naughty tongue.
It's like different.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, so like if I could, got technical difficulties, live streaming through, but we back. You know what I'm saying? If I could, can I get, from the top, let's get Proverbs 17:4 about the show.
Proverbs chapter 17, verse 4. A wicked doer giveth heed to false lips.
It say a wicked doer gives heed to false lips. What does that mean?
A wicked doer is easily to lie.
You say easily to lie?
Yeah.
Okay.
A person that's caught up in wickedness, so they're gonna entertain a conversation from the lies from
Right.
somebody else.
That's more on topic, like, right. So if you read that, it say wicked doer giveth heed to false lips. You understand? Like, we should be offended when someone comes to us with gossip. You see what I'm saying? Like, what did you see in me that you felt like you could come to me with that?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, because the one thing that you know about a wicked person, a wicked doer, or somebody who wants to start some kind of division or whatnot, they're going to find somebody who they feel like they can persuade to join their cause. You understand? So imagine you got somebody, they wicked as hell, they a liar, they gossiping about people. You feel me? What about you made them comfortable enough to come to you with this nonsense? You feel me? But guess what? It say a wicked doer giveth heed to false lips, right? Like, let's finish it off, Brother Michelle, if I could.
A wicked doer giveth heed to false lips, and a liar giveth ear to a naughty tongue.
And it say, and a liar giveth ear to a naughty tongue, you understand? So this is not only talking about the person that's gossiping and bringing the drama to you. It's talking about you, the one who's listening. You understand? Like a person who's wicked and ready to stir up some nonsense, you understand? They shouldn't even feel comfortable coming to you with it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Let's say they do come to you with it. You understand? They should never feel comfortable again with it.
Right.
Like, let's say they're just trying you out. You know what I mean? Because you got some people that do that. And let me try. Let me see what kind of spirit he got. You know? Hey, did you see? You know, and you'll see this in the Christian church. Hey, did you see sister such and such? Did you see brother such and such the other day? Did he seem like he was a little drunk to you? Did he seem like he was a little off to you? You see what I'm saying? What should you say? Like, what should we say? You understand? In that situation. Like, we just went over.
Just shut them down.
How?
Me personally, I'll ask, like, are you sure? Or if that's what it is, you should go talk to that brother, that sister.
That should be the first thing you say.
No,
Hey, did you talk to him?
No. So,
You see what I'm saying? You know what that's going to tell that wicked person? Hey, I can't play with him so good.
right.
You understand? Because he's going to hold me accountable for what these scriptures tell us to do. If you was offended by something that brother or sister such and such was doing, you should have went to them, to him and him alone.
Right.
You shouldn't be coming to me with it.
Right.
You come to me with it because you evil and you think I'm evil with you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It should be offensive to us that people bring that kind of nonsense to us.
Right.
Running their mouth about a brother. You understand? Damn sure in the school. Somebody comes to you about another brother, you feel me? Hey, Slocky, did you talk to him? Nah, I ain't ready. Well, what you telling me for?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's got to be our vibe. You feel me? You know what that's going to kill? That's going to tell that wicked dude, I can't persuade him.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? They ain't going to come to you with it again. But the moment you say, no, man, like, you know, I ain't even pay attention, but I keep my eyes on you. Think you doing the right thing and stuff like that, but you telling that person, like, listen, you got a little weakness in him. He got a little weakness in him. I might can persuade him. Yeah, I mean, be wicked with him. And this is the Lord is saying, the wicked doer giveth heed to false lips.
Right.
And the liar giveth ear to a naughty tongue, you feel me? Like, this is what happened when we gossip and run our mouth about each other. You understand? This is why it can't take place, especially in this group. You understand? Like, if we understood this lesson in the streets, do you know how many brothers will be living right now?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of brothers dead because this lesson right here, they never was taught. You understand? You told, man, I'm a real nigga, you feel me? I mean, I handle mine, you feel me? I get busy. You disrespect if you want to. Next thing you know, you killed the brother, now you gotta go to jail, you see what I'm saying? How many families got destroyed because of that one decision?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Not only to mention, our whole community just got weaker because two brothers are now gone. You feel me? Our community gets weaker, and our present society gets stronger. Because one of us is gone, the other one is technically a slave again. We are already slaves, but you're in the chains now, you feel me?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? If I could, let me get Psalm 34:13 real quick. In this topic of like the gossip and running your mouth and these Christian pastors, man, like pretty much destroying the brotherhood between, you know, brothers and sisters, you feel me? Like, it's so heavy because no one talks about it. Like, people got this mindset about the Christian church, like, everybody knows the evil that's going on in the Christian church. Everybody knows the evil that's going on there. They know that kids are being molested and raped. They know that the pastor is sleeping with men, women, and children in that congregation. They know that women are being whores in that congregation, you feel me? And no one says nothing about it.
Right.
You got the homosexual choir director up there. He's prancing around the entire congregation every Sunday, You see what I'm saying? Like, no one says nothing about it. You understand? And then on top of it all, they have the nerve to teach us to be evil towards each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got that?
Sir.
Oh, you good?
Book of Psalms, chapter 14.
No, 34 and 32.
It's like 34 and 13.
Come.
And 13. Keep thy tongue from evil and thy lips from speaking guile.
It says, keep thy tongue from evil, man, and thy lips from speaking guile. What does guile mean? Like, you think, when you hear guile, what does that mean? You know?
It's like, sir, in layman's term, I guess like talking trash or
Yeah.
bring up lies.
Yeah, see, and this is what we're gonna get in the habit too. When we hear these words, what we want to get used to is looking it up in the Bible dictionary. You know? Like that's like because it makes it clearer. You see what I'm saying? Like this is part of studying as well.
Right.
When we get certain words, what we do is we look them up in the dictionary. So get it in the dictionary. Like guile means sly or cunning intelligence.
Okay.
You feel me? So if we want to put it in street terms, let's sneak this. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, you saying real, you saying little slick things to people. You feel me? Like you dissing, but you're trying. It's a cowardly diss. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Passive aggressive.
Yeah, like you ain't coming straight to the brother, man. This is what it is. Like you saying a little, like Captain Carter said one time, like you on the internet, and this goes for the internet too. When it speaks of tongue, it's talking about them keyboards too. You feel
Right,
me?
right.
Because if you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatnot, you feel me? Whatever you post, that's you speaking it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like Captain Carter brought a great example up before. He said, when you see a person, how many times you been online and you see a person, I don't know who this is for, but blah, 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 blah. You know who it's for.
Right.
You know who you mean to address right now. But instead of you saying it directly to them, I don't know who this is for, if it applies, you see what I'm saying? Like, no, you sneak this.
Right.
Right. That's guile right there. You see what I'm saying? Like, you ain't courageous enough to confront nobody and be straight up with them. So you speak in this slick way, in this clever way, to get your point across. You feel me?
Right.
That way, if somebody confronts you about it, well, I ain't saying nothing to you. You see what I'm saying? No thing with none of that, man. Yeah, I mean, the Lord said, keep that tongue from evil and thy lips from speaking God. That means you online. This is talking about that too. Be careful what you reposted. You see what I'm saying? Because even though you didn't say it when you reposted, that now becomes your tweet as well. Or your post. Like whatever you retweet, that means you standing by it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's dumb. Like don't speak in God. Like the Lord don't like that sneak dissing, man. You know, like I'm talking about you, and not dissolved. I'm just saying, some people got issues in here. You feel me?
Right.
If they got issues, like that's speaking
Right.
out. I'm talking about you,
Right.
and I'm talking down to you, but I'm talking to not to someone. You know I'm talking to you.
Right.
So then when you say like, yeah, you talking to me, y'all was talking to him. I ain't say your name, man.
Right.
You got a problem with me?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's sucker shit. You see
Right,
what I'm saying?
right.
Like, don't do that.
Right.
The Lord is not with that, man. That's what guile is. Sly and cunning intelligence, man. You know, the Lord is, they say, keep thy tongue from evil and thy lips from speaking guile, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, keep all that nonsense. Like, that's not of the Lord, man.
Right.
But this is what you hear in the church. This is what you hear in the church, you understand? Like, pastor, that pastor, that deacon, that bishop, he ain't going to address whoever he got an issue with in that congregation. You know what he's going to do? He's going to get up on that pulpit, you feel me? And he's going to start sneak dissing on that mic. You see what I'm saying? And now you feel some kind of way. I mean, because he was speaking God towards you.
Right.
He was sneak dissing towards you. You feel me? Like, that's how it works, man. The next thing you know, you form alliances and all that nonsense. That's why the scripture earlier said it's like increasing in ungodliness. Because after that, like they don't know to go to him and him alone. So now you start forming groups. and it starts to be division. Yeah, we supposed to be one organization, but this my clique over here. That's his clique over here. This your clique over here, you feel me? You know what that sounds like? Shake Israelite groups. You see what I'm saying? Weak. You see what I'm saying? Because you can't take a check-in. Now all of a sudden you gotta go over here and do your own thing, you feel me? I mean, this is why the Isupk said we do not affiliate with, we don't affiliate with no one.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We stand alone. It's because Israelite is in front of their name, we are not the same, you feel me?
Right.
We you know, same as like we not Christians. We don't affiliate with Christianity, Islam, none of that nonsense, you feel me? We stand alone, and we've been standing alone since 1969.
Right.
1969, that's the reason for it, man. If I could, let me get James 3 and 5 for sure.
It's the book of James, chapter 3, verse 5. Even so, the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter of slaughter. Behold, how great a matter of little fire kindled.
Like, this is talking about your tongue, man. This is talking about running your mouth. You see what I'm saying? Like, your tongue is one of the smallest members of your body. But like the scripture just said, like, behold how a greatly matter, a little fire kindled. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, forest fires are started by the flick of a cigarette, right? You understand? Like, you flick that cigarette, next thing you know, the whole goddamn 100 miles of forest is burned down now. You know?
Right.
That's the same thing with your tongue. You see what I'm saying? You can say something out your mouth and gossip and whisper and murmur. You understand? And that can tear down the foundation of whatever you were part of. You know?
Right.
That's why you can't have it here. You see what I'm saying? What happens if the gossip starts happening here? Then you will see brothers clicked up. Then you will see brothers, man, I don't really deal with you like that. You feel me? They just talk about each other and stuff like that. You feel me? Like, that's not the spirit in here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that firework, that your tongue will burn a great fire if you're allowed to do that. That's why you're not allowed to do it. You see what I'm saying? Like, and just flat up, you gotta watch your mouth. Like, it's not hard to do just to be quiet. You know, if you ain't got the courage to, you know, if you ain't got the courage to speak to a brother that you feel some kind of way about, you feel me? Don't get mad at nobody else. Examine yourself. What is it about me that's so weak that I can't tell another man that I'm offended? Like, do I not love this brother? The only reason you won't tell something to a brother is because you don't love him. You know what I mean? You correct your children, right? If your child do something will come off a certain kind of way to you, you hey man, listen, I don't like you better watch your mouth, man. Why you talking like that? You see what I'm saying? Because you love them. You want to see them do better.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you offer that same level of courtesy to your brother, man, who you're supposed to love, man? So if you feel like you can't do that, now you gotta examine yourself, man. Do you really love your brother? If you a cat, man, you tell your brother you gonna run, seeing something start popping up, you gonna get out of there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Or you gonna stand and you gonna go to war with your brother. You understand? Like the scripture says there's no greater love that a man lay down his life for his brother, man. You understand? Like this is what we're called to do. If you love your brother, it's nothing for you to lay your life down for him.
Right.
But can you lay your life down for somebody you hate?
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? And that's the spirit behind it, man. That's why the Christians don't lay down their lives for each other. Because they actually hate each other. Like Christians hate each other. And we always get asked, why do we hate? How are we hating?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like this, people always say, man, y'all a hate group. You feel me? Like they got us listed as a hate group. This is a love group, huh? You see what I'm saying? Like you're required to love your brother here.
Right.
And there's no other way. You understand?
Damn right.
Christianity is a hate group, man. Whenever you allow any kind of sin to come into your congregation, you feel me? You allow it, and not only do you allow it, you feel me, like you allow it to grow and fester. That's because you hate the people in there. You see what I'm saying? Like Like, Pride Month. Yeah, she got a month dedicated to homosexuality. You know? You know, they always say, you know, what they say, it's love is love or whatnot, whatever that slogans are, you feel me? Like, if you don't tell and teach them that their lifestyle is not of the Lord, you feel me? That's because you hate it. You see what I'm saying? Like, most of them were introduced to that lifestyle through violence.
Right.
And that's what people don't get. Like, that's a violent lifestyle. You see what I'm saying? Like, most of them were introduced to that through some kind of form of rape and or molestation from when they were a child. But because they didn't have no one to actually talk to about it, and no one actually took what they said serious, they've had to live with that feeling of being violated to the point where they, you know what, this is just who I am. I've always felt this way. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you don't correct bad behaviors, it's because you do not love the person that's doing it.
Right.
You feel me? Christianity is a hate religion. It's a religion full of hate and gossip and lust and disgustingness. You feel me? It's vile, man. But the thing is, because we're not being taught these scriptures, man, we look at, like, you know, like this paraphrase how the scriptures say, like, you know, who's turned good, who said that good was evil or evil was good, you feel me?
Right.
Like, that's what it is. Like, teaching brothers about the laws of God, man, teaching brothers to be brothers, sisters to be sisters, that's a good thing, man.
Right.
You understand? But in the Christian church, they ain't trying to hear that. That's just as unequally yoked. Like, you got fake Israelite groups right now is teaching women that if they come into their school and their husband does not come into their school with them, that they can divorce that husband and get with one of them. You feel me? That is evil, huh?
Right.
It's full of adultery in them fake Israelite camps, right? That's what that is. It's no different from the Christian church. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is why these so-called leaders, man, this is how they destroy us, man. And take that brotherhood out of us, man. You understand? Like, it's such a disgusting thing, man. Like, our so-called leaders are meant to protect us. They're meant to warn us against certain things. You feel me? Be there, like, they supposed to be the gatekeepers to keep out unrighteousness, you feel me? And to bring in righteousness. And instead, they're doing the exact opposite, man.
Right.
You understand? Let me get, if I could, Isaiah 56 and 9, brother, sure.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 56, verse 9. All ye beasts of the field, come to devour ye. All ye beasts in the forest.
They say, all ye beasts of the field, come to devour. Yea, all ye beasts of the forest. This is talking about, these beasts that it's talking about is these other nations, man.
Right.
Like, these other nations come to devour. They say, all these beasts come to devour. Yea, all ye beasts in the forest, you feel me? All of these other nations, you ever notice, like, if you go into you ever been into Chinatown?
Yeah.
How many Arab shops do you see in Chinatown?
Zero.
You see zero. Like, how many African shops do you see set up in Little Italy? You don't see none.
Right.
You don't see no, you don't see the so-called white man got his businesses in Chinatown Little Ghana. You see what I'm saying? Like, but when it comes to us, they all in our hood, you feel me? Like, they all up in our joint, you feel me? Like, because they come to devour us, man.
Right.
This is talking about these other nations, and the Lord calls them beasts. Like, you don't reason with a beast, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta understand this. Like, we actually try to reason with them and understand them. You can't. The Lord is calling the beast for a reason. Like, if you got a, you know, I like talking about lions and shit like that, but I'm gonna just keep it more simple. You got a pit bull walking down the street. You understand, which is common in Baltimore. You got a bully pit bull walking down the streets. No collar, no owner around. You see what I'm saying? What you gonna do?
Get out of the way.
You gonna get out the way, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you gonna get out the way. You're not gonna go to that bully and say, hey, where's your owner?
Right.
You know, don't destroy nothing.
Right.
I'll let you walk, but you know, just don't hurt nothing. Yeah, some other little dogs down there, Lord. Just don't hurt nobody. But you free to do your thing. You ain't gonna reason with it.
Right.
You gonna get the hell out of his way. You feel me? This is the same thing with these other nations, man. We try to reason with them, not knowing that they are beasts, man. You can't reason with a beast.
Right.
You can't say, hey, listen, man, y'all should stop killing us. Y'all should stop killing us. We actually have value. They don't hear none of that. They can't hear. Like the Lord is telling us, the Lord created them. The Lord knows how they work.
Right.
He's just telling us. But yet we want to reason with them.
Right.
We can't reason with them. We keep going over the show. Verse 2.
Verse 10. His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant.
They say his watchmen are blind, man. That's talking about black leaders. Our black leaders are blind, man. They are all ignorant. Like, the damn job description is in the title, you feel me? Watch, you feel me?
Right.
You got to watch, you know what I mean? Like, we call it Shema, like, you know, we watching. You see what I'm saying? That's why you see Shema in this class, man. Shema is watching.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, who's coming in, who's coming out. Hey, do this person look like a threat? Do this person not look like a threat? You see what I'm saying? Shema is watching. Like, if we got so-called leaders for black people, who are they watching? Like, we got, the scripture can say all the beasts in our neighborhood. So, what are you doing? What it is he's taking on the spirit of our oppressor, you feel me? Instead of him watching these other nations and what they're doing to us, he's watching us and making sure that we do not disrespect them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When the riots, I remember when the Freddie Gray, when Freddie Gray, they call it the riots, but the Freddie Gray protest was happening here in Baltimore. Ray Lewis was on TV. Ray Lewis was up at his mansion. You know, Calabasas somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Come on, Baltimore. Baltimore, come on, man. We gotta do better, Baltimore. We turn up our own neighborhood, Baltimore.
Right.
He didn't say not one thing to the devil.
Right.
He didn't say, hey, man, how his back get broke, man?
Right.
I mean, how his neck get broke? He didn't say not one thing to the oppressor. He's supposed to be a black leader. He's supposed to be like Ray Lewis, you feel me? From the trenches.
Right.
You understand? The same people that supported you when you so-called had your murder investigation down in Atlanta, you feel me?
Right.
Now you turning on us and telling us, listen, come on, man. You can't be doing this.
Right.
Ain't not one time say, like, the only murder that happened during those protests was of Freddie Gray. You know what I mean? No one else got hurt.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it say his watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. You understand? Keep going, Dr. Michelle.
It's a lie. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs.
They are all dumb dogs. You understand? Like, dumb meaning like, yeah, they're not smart, first and foremost. You know?
Right.
But dumb meaning like weak. You know what I'm saying? You know, somebody say deaf and dumb. Like, a deaf person would be a person who can't hear. A dumb person would be somebody who can't speak. They say, man, they are all dumb dogs. You understand? The whole purpose of having a dog is for that dog to alert you when there's danger.
Right.
Bark. You see what I'm saying? Keep going, Michelle.
They cannot bark.
They cannot bark. You understand? Like, at the end of the day, you're supposed to be the watchman. Make some noise when you see some danger coming. You feel me?
Right.
You understand? The watchmen in the Bible, they would blow the trumpets.
Right.
Hey man, we got people approaching that ain't supposed to be here. You know what I'm saying? Man, blow the horns and stuff like that, you feel me? What our leaders do now, man? They don't do nothing. They go to these meetings, they hear about gentrification. They hear about how they ready to come and destroy the neighborhoods, you feel me? You know what they do? They take their paycheck and they go into the hills, you know? And they sit there and tell black people, they tell the same very people that they about to destroy, you gotta love your oppressor, man. You gotta get over slavery. You understand? You gotta pull yourself up like a bootstrap. You understand? Like that's what they tell the very people that they're supposed to be leaders to. You see what I'm saying? The scripture just said, man, they're dumb doves, they cannot bark. Keep going with the scripture.
They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber.
Sleeping, man, lying down, loving to slumber. You know, they slack when it comes to the protection of the black man, you understand? You know, they got all these black leaders in these churches and stuff like that. You know, presidential elections and stuff like that. Voting booths in the church. You understand? They got voting booths in the church, and then they telling people, man, listen, we gonna vote this election. Man, we gonna vote for Biden, okay? So Biden said, if you don't vote, you ain't black, so we gonna make sure we all get on Biden's ticket when you come in this church. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is what they doing, man. Sleeping, loving, lying down, loving to slumber. You understand? Like, these people, these so-called leaders, man, they lay down for the oppressor. And they love to slumber and they get slack when it comes to doing things for us. You understand? Like them Asians, they wasn't at them in them long election lines. You seen older black women standing there for 10, 12 hours a day. Now they've been told they can't even get bottles of water while they're standing there, you know. So big, don't vote. You see what I'm saying? But what you did not see them Asians in those long lines. And what was one of the first things that Joe Biden did for them Asians? He passed an anti-hate bill specifically for them.
Right.
You understand? Like, how many police brutality murders must happen in order for a bill to get passed for the police not to kill a black man? You see what I'm saying? A couple Asians get their heads kicked in, beat up, still living, and they get an anti-hate crime bill passed. You know what I'm saying? That's because our leaders are dumb, man.
Right.
Our leaders are dumb, man. They supposed to see that, and they supposed to cry aloud, you feel me? They supposed to cry aloud because of the inhumane treatment that their people have been getting. And guess what? They not for us.
Right.
They actually hate us, man. This is the spirit behind the Christian church, man. You know what I mean? They hate us so much that they get us to hate each other.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, let's keep going with this.
Verse 11. Yea, they are greedy dogs which can never have enough.
They are greedy dogs which can never have enough, man. Like, this is the problem. Like, though you see Flint, Michigan, a black city, still don't have clean drinking water to this day. Though you see gas and electric getting cut off from, grandma who's on assisted living. Though you see, young black kids not being able to eat, not having proper, adequate food, shelter. Though you see those things, you still are going to collect them offerings and shame people for not having enough.
Right.
You understand? You shame people for being poor. You understand? While you uplift those that take from them. You see what I'm saying? This is the spirit of Christianity, you know? You take from the people who don't have it, so you can rub shoulders with the ones who do, you feel me?
Right.
Not knowing the ones who you rubbing shoulders with are the very reason that these people do not have it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is how cowardly our leaders have become, man. You know what I'm saying? And people call us a hate group.
Right.
People say that we don't love. You feel me? Beg to differ, man. These Christian churches and these Muslim mosques, they are the hate group.
Right.
Man. They're full of nothing but envy, jealousy, lust. You understand? Like, they are essentially whores for our oppressor, man. Let our oppressor tell them to do something. They will do it. Trust and believe. Christianity ain't the only one who welcomes homosexuality. The Muslims do too. Like, people act like, like people are there say, y'all Muslims? Hell no, I ain't no Muslim.
Right.
Hell no, I ain't no Muslim. You see what I'm saying? 'Cause I thought y'all was Muslim. You didn't think I was no damn Muslim.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, they do the same thing Christianity do. Trust and believe me. They allow that homosexuality to run rampant in there too.
Yep.
Don't get it twisted.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The drug dealing, the backbiting, the murdering. You understand? It's allowed in those organizations. You feel me? It's not allowed in here. This is why this is the home of the truth, and you can feel how you want to feel about it.
Right.
And if you don't like it, do something about it. You feel me?
Right.
You gonna be righteous and say the same thing. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
You go and keep these laws, statutes, and commandments and say the same thing. The problem is these other organizations, they can't, because they know that they're not doing it.
Right.
Because if they were doing it, they would be here. You see what I'm saying? If you were keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, you wouldn't have a need to separate from us. You see what I'm saying? The proof that you separated is because you don't want to keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments. Whatever lust you had, you feel me, that's what you're going to attach yourself to. And that's what you see with these other organizations, man. That's why we don't affiliate with them.
Right.
This is what you see with a lot of these Christian leaders, man. These black Christian leaders, these black Christian pastors, man. And politicians. Man, they just, Christianity and them black politicians, they're nothing but conduits of white supremacy, man. You know what I'm saying? The so-called white man ain't gonna put his face on Christianity. He's gonna put Jamal Bryant's face on it. He's gonna put T.D. Jakes' face on it. He's gonna put Creflo Dollar's face on it. You know what I'm saying? Juanita Bynum. He's gonna put them as the spokesperson to push his agenda, right?
Right.
And that's what's happening. Any more of that?
Salaki. Khan. They cannot bark. Salaki. Verse 11. Yea, they are greedy dogs which can never have enough, and they are shepherds that cannot understand.
And they are shepherds that cannot understand. Because like, for them to be leaders, they don't got no solutions. What's the one thing you always hear when people speak of fixing the black community? What's the first thing you hear? Education. You know, we need a financial structure, which we do. Not knocking none of that. But you'll never hear them come out and say, you know what, we got to come back to serving the Lord, our God. We got to come back to keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. And if we can do that, if we can come back to keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, guess what? The financial part will take care of itself.
Right.
The education part will take care of itself. You know why? Because we'll love each other enough to deal with each other. Like the fact that we got a hashtag buy black is offensive. You see what I'm saying? You got to actually tell black people to buy black. How offensive and disgusting is that, man? You see what I'm saying? You don't have to tell an Asian hashtag buy Asian.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to tell an East Indian hashtag buy East Indian.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But you got to tell a black man hashtag buy black. That's how much we've learned to hate each other, man. Listen to these weak, disgusting leaders, man. Listen to our oppressor. You understand? Like this is how we fall. Like the scripture said earlier, man. Our leaders cause us to err, man. Right. This is how it happens, man.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta love everybody, right? That ain't it what they say? You gotta have love in your heart, brother. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. You see what I'm saying? All that nonsense, you feel me?
Right.
Not knowing what the scripture really means.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? The Lord gave his son for us. He didn't give it for everybody. You see what I'm saying? We disagree, but you respect mine and I can respect yours, man. Damn yours.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, we ain't respecting nothing about yours. You see what I'm saying? We gonna respect the word of the Lord.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And if you can't respect the word of the Lord, you feel me? What I look like respecting yours?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, what kind of suckers do you take us for? You feel me?
Right.
Because we ain't. You see what I'm saying? I ain't gonna follow the Lord, but I want you to show mercy and compassion to what I want you to have mercy and compassion on.
Right.
Bam, what you think?
Right.
I mean, we're gonna put it on the earth, and we're gonna stomp it, and we're gonna destroy it. You feel me?
Right.
I mean, like, and this is the spirit of the Lord, to crush all of that nonsense. You feel me?
Right.
Like the spirit of the Lord ain't to say, let's all be welcome, let's all be together. You see what I'm saying? Let's all get along to be along and all that nonsense. You feel me? No, that's not the spirit of the Lord. You feel me?
Right.
Like, put it like this. You feel me? You teaching your kids something, right? Like you teaching your kids something, and somebody come along and tell your kids something contrary to what you told them. And then they come and say, listen, man, he gotta have an open mind. And he can't just know what you teach him. He gotta know everything. He may want to choose something different. What you gonna do? Yeah, you right, you feel me? We gotta respect each other's religions.
Right.
We gotta respect this and respect that. That's the spirit of the sucker, man.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You don't say, listen, man, we gonna crush yours, you see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta have that spirit.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? If you don't have the spirit to fight and go hard for the Most High, you feel me? Guess what? This oppressor is going hard for his.
Right.
He's going hard in his kingdom. Like they just came out with the CEO of Disney World said that every leading character is going to be transgender or homosexual from now on. Their agenda is aggressive.
Right.
So am I supposed to be docile?
Right.
Am I supposed to say, hey son, do you want to keep these commandments with me? Hell no. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to be just as aggressive teaching this truth as they are aggressive destroying it. You feel me?
Right.
And if you ain't got that spirit, man, you got to get it. And the only place you're going to get it is here in the UPK, man.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We can't be weak, man. We can't allow these weak leaders to come up against us, man, and cause us to hate each other. Cause us to go against each other and kill each other, man, and be weak with each other, man.
Right.
We gotta clothe ourselves in the spirit of the Most High, man, and put our culture back on. You feel me? And until we do it, man, we gonna continue to fall in this kingdom, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, like blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, we gotta stop being weak, man. And the only way we gonna stop being weak is when you see us in the corners, man, come get you a flyer and get in class, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And with that, I'm gonna turn the class over to Officer Thousand, not to Zone, for reading of the security, man. Zone.
Security announcements. The Isupk coming out of 1 West, 125th Street, Albany, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are here to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves from the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister, a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which a brother or sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, brother or sister will get permission from the head to her child, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapters 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, 8 through 10. It means 10. It means 10 in Hebrew. It's pronounced ma'aisha. 10% of every penny increase the Lord gives you, give the treasury department or teacher. Free will offering, not mandatory whatsoever. Amount you like to give. Upcoming whole complication we have the blowing of the trumpets. We have the feast of the blowing of the trumpets. That's in September. Check your schools for further detail. Also, we had the Midwest Cookout out Chicago. Got all types of speak-ins and, check your school for further details. Remind every Ocul and Aquathium to come to check out social media such as Isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so forth for Isupk events and materials. For brother wants to become a trooper in the school, then he has to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, pants, headbands, and scarf. And with that, we're going to get one courtesy salute to the teacher. In Israel, Amadi Shabbat, Amadi, Barak, Yahweh Shabbat Shabbat,
Yahweh Shabbat Shabbat.
Yahweh Matah, class, dismissed.